calling the Beach Haven regular meeting to order. The flag salute will be led by Mr. Allen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the Beach Haven Municipal Building, mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, the Asbury Park Press, and the Press of Atlantic City. Mr. Allen.
Here.
Mrs. Baumann. Here. Mr. Lynch.
Here.
Mr. Maskell. Mayor Davis.
Here. Okay, Sherry will do the management.
Cash receipts in the current fund account for the period of August 1 to August 31 were $3,310,323.82. Cash disbursements in the current fund account for the month of August 2019 totaled $3,770,103.92. And cash balance in the current fund account for this period totaled $398,260.38. Cash receipts in the water utility account for this period, August 1st through August 31st, were $108,566.24. Cash disbursements in the water utility account, $381,347.97. And the cash balance in the water utility account as of August 31st was $3,326,226.52, submitted by our treasurer, Sherry Bowler. She also provided me with a season-ending Beach Badge report. Beach Badge sales for 2019 totaled $463,505, an increase over last year. Last year was $456,710, an increase over last year by $6,795. I wanted to respond to a petition initiative that came forward to us, a petition for initiative ordinance. According to NJSA 40:69A 187, after completing my examination of the petition, the municipal clerk shall certify the result thereof to the council at its next regular meeting. So I'm going to do that right now. So I took a look at the petition, and I found it defective in the following ways. Pursuant to NJSA 40:69A 186, initiative petition paper shall contain the full text of the proposed ordinance, and the papers submitted did not contain the full text of the proposed ordinance. Each separate petition shall have a statement of the circulator attached, that he and he only personally circulated the foregoing paper, that all the signatures appended thereto were made in his presence, and that he believes them to be the genuine signature of the person whose names they purport to be, and no such statement of the circulator was provided. Each signer shall sign his name in ink and shall indicate after his name his place of residence. Only 3 signatures appeared on the submitted petition properly. There shall appear on each petition paper the names and addresses of 5 voters designated as the committee of petitioners, who shall be regarded as responsible for the circulation and filing of the petition and for its possible withdrawal as herein provided. No committee of petitioners has been identified in the submitted paperwork. Most importantly, in NJSA 40:55D 62B, the power to zone states that no zoning ordinance and no amendment or revision to any zoning ordinance shall be submitted to or adopted by initiative or referendum. So unfortunately, the subject matter of the documents that have been submitted are considered a zoning ordinance, and that cannot be a subject of initiative or referendum, so this petition cannot and will not be certified. I have a copy for Mr. Harvey if he's in the audience, but I do have a copy of the letter, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. The approval of the minutes, I believe they would recall the next meeting, is that right?
No, we have the August 12th regular and
Okay.
the August 12th executive.
Okay, so it was the other.
Yeah.
All right, has the council read the minutes?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes from August 12th, both the regular and the executive session?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ball Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2019-30C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 212, 20H, General Regulations of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven to clarify the height requirement for lots adjacent to the beach dune protective facility. Final reading.
This is the final reading. This was presented to the Land Use Board at the last meeting. There was no comment or just nobody had any improvements to make on this. At this time, the floor is open for any discussion on this ordinance. If you want to say something regarding this ordinance, come forward, state your name and address. Okay, I'm going to close the floor. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ball Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
2019-28C, an ordinance amending Chapter 134, noise of the Code of the Borough of Beach Haven as it pertains to construction hours to limit construction noise on Saturdays. First reading.
This is first reading, so there's no public comment. We did listen to comments that we heard last time. What we have done is we have allowed construction on Saturday, but it cannot start until 9 o'clock, which falls in with the state regulations. So there is no public comment on this. If anybody on council would like to comment, they're welcome to at this time. Okay, so we move on. Oh, we have the first reading, we have to vote on it. So is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Ball Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2019-29C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 212, 9B, use regulations RA, single-family residential district, to clarify certain accessory structures only to residential districts RA, RNA, RSA, RB, and RC. We previously introduced this ordinance August 12th and made some revisions, and we were considering a reintroduction tonight. What would you like to do?
I'd like to say, we did bring this up to the Land Use Board last Monday. The Land Use Board made a couple suggestions, one of which is that pool equipment is noisy, and that should be listed along with air conditioners and heaters, and that the pool equipment should follow the same regulations. Also, it was recommended that we allow accessory structures like storage areas, a garage with a storage area above, to go up to 18 feet, but only for storage, nothing else. Nobody can live in it. Basically, those were the recommendations of the Land Use Board. That's what appears in this ordinance. I know there's some comments from council, so we'll discuss this amongst ourselves at this moment.
So the recommendation for the land use board to go from 15 feet to 18 feet for a garage, I just didn't really see the validity of that decision just for storage alone. If you're in a smaller home and then both your neighbors take their garage up, then you're totally blocked. Not necessarily the view, but you're totally encased now by a garage. So I don't really see a need to go from 15 to 18 feet.
Anybody else in council have anything to say about this ordinance? At this time, I'd like to take a few comments from the audience, we have to decide whether we're going to either table this and discuss it further or vote on it tonight. Does anybody in the audience want to say anything? Please limit your comments to a short period of time, okay? Yes, please, state your name and address.
Bonnie Lenhard, 115 Fairview Avenue. You raised the height of the houses in Beach Haven from 32 to 35. When I redid my house in 2009, FEMA made me get rid of my basement, so I lost all the storage there. So then I said, okay, well then I'll raise my house 4 feet and put storage under the house, but at that time, the steps coming down from the front counted. So I was over, so I couldn't do that. So I lost all the storage I had in the basement. So I think, and there are garages all over town that already have this. It's come before the land use board. So I don't know why we're asking people to come and pay for a variance to come before the land use board when all you were doing is raising something 2 feet or 3 feet. Even if you raise it to 17 feet, people have enough space to have a dormer for storage. That's my point. Because it's happening all over town anyway. You already have garages that have storage. We have people that have come and raised it to 17 feet because they wanted their garage to architecturally match their house. So it's either you leave it at 15 and make everybody come for a variance for storage, or you raise it for 2 feet. That's my point.
Would anybody else like to come forward in the audience regarding this ordinance? Yes, Mr. Meadow. State your name and address.
Tom Meadow, 219 Anner Street. My concern with this, with bringing it up, I live in the historic district, so if I were to build a shed in my backyard, which I would like to do, the 15 feet's based off the crown of the road. My backyard slopes up nicely. I don't want to have to dig into the ground so I can get the full 15 feet off the crown of the road. And also, too, the 15 feet might adjust the roof angle and it would not look historically accurate for the area. So if you flatten the roof out, old barns never were flat roof, they were pretty peaked. So that's why I thought the 18 feet was a good idea.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience like to speak to this ordinance? Okay, I closed, yeah, you can come forward and state your name and address.
Jim Stevens, 711 South Bay Avenue. I hadn't really intended to talk about this, but I might throw my 2 cents here. And I can refer to my garage, which meets the 15 feet from the center line of the road. Now, the issue was when they built it, the garage doors really had to be lowered. So it's a problem, there's special fitting tracks for the garage door. So it kind of makes it difficult. You can't put a garage opener on it. But the real issue is my garage is at an elevation probably 3.5 feet. And so if I rebuild my garage, which someday I probably will, I would really like the ability to go higher because I would like to raise the base floor elevation of the garage so it doesn't flood as the road floods. And so you really need the 18 feet from the center line of the road to accomplish that. I think that's very important. The other is more of a nuisance, but I think the flood issue, and it's going to be becoming an issue as.
So you're talking about raising the ground level so your car is up a little higher and is less likely to be flooded.
Right, if I live there in the wintertime, I'm not safe leaving it there.
Okay.
You know, basically I cannot leave it there. If 1 out of 4 years it's going to flood.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else in the audience? All right, I'm going to close the floor. Do we want to, is there a motion to approve this ordinance? If we have the option to approve it or to try to come up with a compromise or go back to the drawing board. Is there a motion to approve it?
I'll give the motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
Is there a compromise or going through anything?
I would like to see a compromise and a further discussion on going up. I mean, we just keep going higher and higher on every single building, and I really think that we need to kind of, once you go higher, you're not going to be able to go back any lower. So I don't know why 18 feet is the magic number, why isn't it 17, or why isn't it 16? I would like to see a little bit more of a professional opinion on that height.
Well, we did get a professional opinion at the Land Use Board. Frank Little is our planner and our engineer, and he did give us a professional opinion. And he felt as long as we stated in the ordinance that this extra space above is for storage, that it would work. I'm a little. I think we ought to be able to move forward tonight. Yes. Yes.
One thing that everybody's worried about with higher and a bigger area over your garage is another living space that people are going to put in there. But you already have an ordinance now that says there's no water in a garage.
Right.
So you're not going to have a bathroom in there. You're not going to have anything else in there. It's just a space. You already have people that have exercise rooms, offices, I don't know what else up there. So our suggestion was for storage. And you worry about the height of the buildings. 18 is nothing compared to 35, which you allowed the houses to go up to. So I don't think that the height of the garage is going to affect the feel and the look. You already have historical homes that are high to begin with. Think of the one on Chatsworth where your house is, Nancy, that rental. That house is 40-some feet high because after they raised it. So I'm just saying for practicality and having places to put things, it makes sense. And for Jim's reason too, for the flooding, I think is an excellent reason. So, and everybody, every time they build a new house now, they seem to bring in all this dirt and raise their lot height, and then they build a house on top of it. It happened next to me. I've got their lot height is up here and mine's down here, 3 feet. That happens because there was no ordinance against it. So, that's all.
Thank you. Do I have a second on this motion at this point? Is there a second? Well, I'll second the motion. So we'll call for a vote.
I wasn't expecting a discussion about this tonight. I can see the practicality of going to 18 feet, but I would also see Jamie's point in the backyard. You don't want an 18-foot structure next to your house. I don't like to look at this. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2019-31C, the ordinance amending Chapter 27, Article 2, Personnel Policies of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven to amend leave time allotments and holidays to comply with newly adopted state laws and to match the current negotiated labor contracts. First reading.
Again, it's first reading, so there's no comments. Is there any comments among the council on this bill? Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Yes.
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 Ordinance 2019-33C, an ordinance amending Chapter 213 to clarify the definition of reusable bag and to prohibit the use of styrofoam containers and plastic straws. First reading.
This is first reading, so there's no comment from the floor. Does anybody want to comment on the council? Everybody, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second? Yes.
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 Ordinance 2019-34, bond ordinance authorizing various capital improvements and acquisitions in and for the Borough of Beach Haven in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,070,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of 727,500 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. I'll briefly run down the list of items that are included in the capital budget for the upcoming year. For the NJDOT road improvements to 9th Street in the area of North Delaware Avenue and Seagull Lane. $350,000 to the 2019 Ocean County Schedule C road improvements throughout the borough, including but not limiting to the paving of Atlantic Avenue, West Avenue, and line striping and painting of shuttle stops, $125,000. Replacement and/or repair of bulkheads throughout the borough, $100,000. Refurbishment of trash truck for the use of the Department of Public Works, $50,000. Improvements to parks and playgrounds throughout the borough, including but not limited to resurfacing or reconstruction of the borough tennis and pickleball courts, $295,000. Drainage improvements on Atlantic Avenue in the area of Center Street to Marine Street. First reading.
This is a first reading. Is there any discussion amongst the council? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2019-35, capital ordinance of the Borough of Beach Haven in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing various water system improvements by and for the borough, and appropriating therefore the sum of $760,000 from the Water Capital Improvement Fund of the borough. And the following projects included for the water utility are being self-funded by the funds that we have from the water utility, so we're not borrowing anything. Refurbishment of the water reservoir, $500,000. Water plant improvements, including but not limited to relocation of the chlorine injector, $100,000. An installation and or replacement of approximately 24 fire hydrants throughout the borough, $160,000. First reading.
Is there any discussion amongst the council on this? No? Okay, is there a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
All matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution 198, authorizing the renewal of membership in the Ocean County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. 199, appointing Jennifer Klein as payroll supervisor, pension fund supervisor, pursuant to 212 of the Borough Code. Resolution 200, canceling water charges. Resolution 201, amending a professional services agreement with CME Associates as administrative agent for the administration of affordable units and certifying additional funds. Resolution 202 is the 2018 audit acknowledgement resolution. 204 is amending the 2019 fees for special events. 205 is returning a park bond. 206, returning piling bonds. 207 is authorizing a local commitment for the Resilient New Jersey Grant Program. 208, authorizing the Borough Beach Haven Police Department to participate in the Defense 1033 program to request and acquire excess Department of Defense equipment. 209 is returning a street opening bond. 210 is appointing Mary Claire Bunce as deputy clerk. 211, appointing Mary Claire Bunce as deputy registrar. 212, approving raffle license number 13 and 14 for the Beach Haven Volunteer Fire Company. And finally, Resolution 215, insertion of special item of revenue for the Bulletproof Vest Program.
Is there anybody in council that would like to remove any of these resolutions for further discussion? In that case, is there a motion to approve the entire list of resolutions?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
I have a bill list this evening in the amount of $1,211,494.34.
Is everybody comfortable with the bills? Any questions? Is there a motion to approve the bills?
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Okay, now we come to the fun part of the meeting, public comment. Couple things I'd like to say before we start public comments. I'd like everybody to keep their comments at least 3 minutes. And if you're commenting on a single topic, only one comment per topic per person. If it's a different discussion altogether, then anybody can come up another time. I know we have a lot of pickleball fans here, and I have sent emails out to the pickleball fans to ask if they could pick a couple of representatives to speak so that we don't want to be here till 1 in the morning. If everybody from pickleball speaks, we will be here till 1 in the morning. So we would like to limit the discussion. We have all received many emails, many of which were very informative, and thank you very much. A couple other things. One of the things that's very important to remember, to please be civil in your comments. Let's not bring any personalities into this. Let's not mention other people's names, but just you're welcome to your comments. We do listen to you, and we really feel it's important to hear what our town people feel about whether they pay taxes or they're from somewhere else. We're anxious to hear your comments, but please be civil. Okay, so now I open the floor to public comments.
Before we get to open it up, I would just wanted to invite Brenda Swissman, who's coordinating the community garden. She had a couple of things that she wanted to say. Great, thank you.
Brenda Swissman, 406 Nelson Ave, Beach Haven. I am the Beach Haven Community Garden representative, and along with myself, the Green Team, Beach Haven Council, and the town of Beach Haven would like to thank Dawson and his crew from Longevity Landscaping for volunteering their time and beautifying the area around the community garden. It looks fabulous, and again, we're all entirely grateful. Thank you.
I want to thank Brenda in particular. If you haven't been down there to look at it, it's gorgeous. I have had phone calls of people thanking me I mean, there's been talk about doing something down there for a number of years, and it's taken a while, and we were so lucky that Dawson donated his time and expertise to do this. And like Brenda, for example, donated a lot of the shrubbery that's down there, and other people have as well, and it really does look great, and I thank you so much. Thank you. So now we'll...
Don Taxis, 16 5th Street in Beach Haven.
Andy Jones, 8 Cottage Court.
Okay, first of all, I just want to thank the council for including in monies in the budget for the expansion of the pickleball center. If I explain pickleball in one word, it's fun. And as you can tell, we have a large family of people here representing the pickleball players. Pickleball has grown dramatically in our town. I mean, back in 2016, which is the first year we started charging, I remember I kept count, and we had about 2,000 players. This past summer, we had 4,300 people registered to play pickleball. A tremendous growth. And I think with these additional courts, I think what you'll see is an increase in revenue for the town, as well as continued growth, and I would expect, more players next year, maybe even approaching 5,000. So on behalf of all the pickleball players, I just want to thank you for including in the budget, and look forward to, we have a couple of people here that would like to participate in the design of it, working with Frank, just so we have the right orientation of the courts and stuff like that. So feel free to pull up on me or Fuzzy or any of the people if you need some help. Again, thank you. Andy?
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Carl Lundell and I are both USAPA ambassadors for pickleball, and we represent hundreds and hundreds of people at Nelson Park. Pickleball isn't just for seniors or retired members of the community. It appeals to millennials and the workforce. Sorry, I'm so nervous. And there's a place for it in schools. At the U.S. Open tournament in Naples, Florida, where Carl and I volunteer, 2018, there were players from the age of 10 to 91 years old competing. I refereed a lot of 91-year-old players. In 2019, the youngest player was 10 years old, and the oldest was 87. Annalie Waters, who played 2 years ago, was one of the top pros in the world. She is now 12 years old. Most know Shay Zimmerman. He comes to play at Nelson Avenue. He is now 15. He vacations every year in Beach Haven and comes to the pickleball courts with his mother. He couldn't wait to be old enough to play alongside everyone. Last week, I played with 10-year-old AJ, who is Paul Nunziato's nephew. Paul's 18-year-old daughter, Anna, played in our tournament with her father, and now Anna's 89-year-old grandfather recently tried to play last week. I watched him play. Mark Travers has a 5-year-old who is starting to play, and then there's 30-year-old Kristen Muller, who won gold in our tournament, and is also an avid tennis player. So my point is, it's a multi-generational sport, along with being gender neutral. where men and women compete alongside of each other, and it doesn't matter how old you are. It's for families, it's for everyone. There's talk of pickleball coming to the Special Olympics soon, and wheelchair-bound people are currently participating in the Open. 48 states were represented at the Open, along with 18 countries. We should look at pickleball as a racket sport cousin to tennis, not a competitor. Let's look to the future and show our kids and grandkids how multi-generational this addicting sport is. In a few years, they expect 8 million people to be playing. Currently, there are 3.5 million, and a few years ago, there were 2.5 million people playing. Our pickleball group this year is donating $1,000 to the Beach Haven First Aid Squad, as we appreciated all the trips they made to Nelson Avenue. I don't know if Debbie Whitcraft is here. I talked to her last week, but I have a check for $1,000. We can't thank you enough. My husband was one of the people a couple weeks ago who was taken to the hospital. We strive to pay it forward. So please help our pickleball community by paying it forward and giving back. I would like to donate my time and court fees to teach your children a program at the courts. I would like to donate apprentice paddles to the program with the consideration of more courts. Thank you for the courts. If you teach them, they will come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ann Pascas. I live at 306 Cove Lane here in Beach Haven. I've been very active with the tennis community for 8 years, and I basically run the program for our visitors. In fact, I have calls from people that are coming to the island in March and giving me their dates. Our courts are utilized from, all 7 courts are utilized from 7 a.m. till approximately 11:30 a.m. every day. We have a schedule, so our situation, unlike pickleball, is not overwhelmed. Our players are given 1.5 hours to play, and then they must leave the courts. I not only run the tennis program for people that would like to play with us, I also work the tennis courts. I am there 6 days a week, and the 2 days I'm not there, I am a beach badge checker. So I really got involved in Beach Haven. Our people have no animosity towards pickleball players. Most of us also dabble in it. Some of them are better than others. I only go in the evening when nobody's around to see me. I represent the tennis people here. I represented New Jersey at the Senior Olympics in Albuquerque in June. Placed in the top 10 with my friend Barbara Heidelman, who is also a Beach Haven resident. We encourage the pickleball players to speak with you, get the courts, get what they need, but do not take our courts from us. Ocean County runs a junior program, and I also think that we could also, or even if you would think about running a tennis program for youngsters, sometime during the day, maybe a high school kid, myself, or some of our other better tennis players will help out with them also. I think both sports are important to the borough, and I do not think we should be pitted against one another. Thank you.
I totally agree with you. Thank you. We've got a bunch of people, and then you can come up, okay? Okay?
Hi, my name is David Mike, and I live on North Atlantic Avenue. I'm sure most of you know, I kind of ran the pickleball courts at Nelson Avenue this past summer. I just want to run over some facts with you to make sure you all understand how busy we are down there. And all we're looking for, we don't want to take anything away from the tennis players also. We should be friends and not competitors. But I'd like to have the council consider designating a pot of that Parks and Rec money specifically for pickleball, and leave the rest for tennis if at all possible. We're not requiring much, we're looking for anywhere around $80,000 to build 3 additional courts. That's a small piece of that $295,000, less than 30% of it. As I'm sure all of you are aware of, pickleball is very popular in town. On roughly 70% of our days in July and August, we had more people waiting to play than actually playing. On 40% of those days, we actually had twice as many people waiting to play as playing. We had 48 people or more sitting, waiting to get on those courts. It got so bad that we had to call DPW to deliver more benches to us so we had places to sit. But that's how popular the sport is. And you also have to consider that these people are waiting to play on a dilapidated skating rink. It's not a pickleball court, so to speak. It's a leftover skating rink. Every court has cracks in it. Every court could use repairs. But these people are so into pickleball, and there's so many players out there that they'll wait and play on a cracked court rather than not play at all. And I think that just goes volumes to speak of how popular the sport is in town and up and down the island. We have people from up and down the island that come to town between 8 and 12 to play. When play is over, they stop and visit the restaurants. They come back in the evenings to support the local businesses. We've had community outings at the where we've gone out in the Black Pearl. We support the restaurants. We support Surf Life Theater. We do a lot for the community. And all we're asking is for just a little piece back from the community. It's the first time we've come before the council and asked for additional courts. So I hope you can consider that and make the right decision for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bill Greenman, 1713 West Avenue, and I endorse pickleball courts. We publicize pickleball courts. I'm a tennis player. Been playing tennis here for 40 years. I enjoy them. It was busier maybe 30 years ago, but it still fills the courts. I've been waiting for about 2.5 to 3 years for the 3 courts to be resurfaced. I'm still waiting. I don't know where that money, I know it's allocated out there. I don't know what's happening to it, but if that's the money that's going to be shared with the pickleball courts, fine. My major concern, I was here July 12th for that meeting, when Colleen Lambert got up here and submitted her letter, which was a 1.5-page letter, indicating the value of the tennis courts to tennis players, and of course the value of pickleball to pickleball players. As I said, I endorse pickleball. And as Colleen said, anything that gets you off your feet is a good thing, and I believe that too. But I don't want to come up here every month and have to defend the tennis courts. Mayor Davis, you mentioned last time, we have no intention at all of changing anything about the tennis courts. I hope that still stands true. That was only July 12th. So I understand that no one's pushing for the tennis courts. I'm just here endorsing the fact that the tennis courts are active and the fact that we don't want anything to change a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, because all of a sudden some collaboration went on and everything changed. Do you understand where we're coming from?
We understand.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Kathy McLaughlin. I live at 2404 South Bay Avenue, the corner of Nelson and Bay Avenue. I'm here in response to the proposal for more, pickleball courts. Certainly any form of exercise and certainly an activity that is enjoyed by so many people has its benefits. But there are other concerns that I would like you to consider. We're hearing a lot of numbers, how the 4,000 people and they expect more people. Please consider the influx of cars to Nelson Avenue on a daily basis. People block our driveway, they pull right up on our stones. They're supposed to start at 8 o'clock. Many mornings, my grandchildren will come and people are out there a little after 7. The day of the tournament, someone was on a bullhorn at 7:15. It's great, but there are also people who want to enjoy the island, residents, vacationers, and I think that needs to be taken into consideration, the parking and the respect to the people who live in that neighborhood. Also, you look out, you see children enjoying the playground, you see people kicking the soccer ball, playing baseball, lacrosse.
or just little ones running around. The thoughts of space being given up and those individuals having to, you know, change their activities just doesn't seem, you know, fair. So I would hope when you consider this whole proposal that you think of a diverse group as opposed to just, you know, the pickleball courts. Thank you.
My name is Olga, and
State your address, please.
my name is Olga. I live in Beach Haven Crest, and I keep.
What's your last name? It has to be recorded.
Okay. Olga Chululidian, and I live in Beach Haven Crest, but every morning I came here to play pickleball, and I really like this place because I never met so many friends like here, and they helped me a lot. Like, I never met so many good friends, so patient, kind people like here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very nice to hear.
My name's Bob Cronin. I live at 2145 Margarita Drive in the Villages. Yeah, but, so I'm very familiar with pickleball. Now I'm an old man, I don't get much of a chance to play it. But you know, it has become so popular. And one of the suggestions I have for you guys, I know it's an expensive situation to put in additional courts. I was a tennis player, not as good as that guy, but I used to play a lot of tennis. At any rate, I also have a house here on Pearl Street, right across the street from the tennis courts. And I'm going to tell you something. There are 7 courts there, and the 3 courts that are right across from my house, more often than not, they're empty.
Well, they're in bad disrepair.
Well, but at the yacht club now, they've utilized, I think 3 or 4 of the other courts. They put down some tape, and they have mobile nets. And I was over there the other day, you know, watching so many people playing. And at one time, I counted 24 people on the courts playing pickleball, and there were still 6 people waiting. I mean, now they're rotating to do it. But my point is, you've got the 2 courts, or the 3 courts right across from me on Pearl Street. Why can't you put some tapes in there, get a couple of these portable nets? It'll, to utilize that, and I know you, Nancy, you're interested in making money for the borough, and this would be a moneymaker. So it's just a suggestion to consider.
Thank you very much.
Hi there, I'm Sue Sharkey, 514 Ingleside in Beach Haven and 10 North Delaware in Beach Haven also. And so first, I'm really here to say thank you. Years ago when I grew up here, I went to Beach Haven School and all that, and my parents taught me something very valuable. And they taught me that LBI is great, and Beach Haven's even better. And I really think that it is. And so I'm really here to say thank you for providing these great, look at this, this is this many people interested in doing great things. So I'm here to say thank you for providing the facilities for us to, we might haggle over them, but it's giving us something to do, a place to commune and compete and be active. I also want to say thank you for the basketball courts down at Taylor Avenue and the beautification that went on there. I know Lynn was maybe primarily responsible for helping out with that.
Lynn and Bob Jacobson.
Just fantastic. I think we have so much to be grateful for. And looking at this pickleball, so
in less than 3 minutes, I'm going to try to sum up really, because there's so much to say. About 10 years ago, I was part of that grassroots effort. Where did Carl? With Carl and Ted and Candy. Remember Candy sent out those fantastic emails to us, and we were at the grade school making this thing. And then, you know, we kind of said, hey, Butchie McCaffrey, what do you think if we take over that roller skating rink? And we kind of did that. It was so exciting. And I would be wearing a pickleball shirt because those are my friends and they were my people, and that's what I was doing. And then I don't know whether I found tennis or tennis found me. And that just happens to be what I'm doing right now because I can, and that's what I'm doing. But I think it's great that we live close to a town, because I know everybody here doesn't live here in Beach Haven. But we live in an area that is so supportive of athletics and sports, and we take care of what we have. And that is a primary concern. So if you just look at let's not look at numbers, because that 4,000 number, where's the woman that lives on Nelson? God bless you, that's a lot of traffic. And I just think, I said last month, maybe the pickleball people should think about a wave or a split session. I went to school in a split session, right, Mr. Anderson? And so maybe they need to stagger the times, because that number of cars is just phenomenal anywhere it would be. So that's a consideration. My bikers, I get that. But as far as taking care of, I know you realize what poor condition those the 3 West courts are in. Money was there many times ago, and I don't know, I guess everybody wants a piece of money. Once you hear about money, so everybody wants a piece of it. Let's not compete over the money. You hear us, do the right thing, take care of what we have in the best way we can, so that we can all play and compete and have fun. Whatever we're doing, some of the pickleballers, tennis might find you like it found me, or vice versa. I'll be back to pickleball, you know? All right, so I just really want to say thank you for giving us these opportunities and taking care of them. Thank you.
Lori, how's your
Can I just address a couple of comments that made?
If there's no one else.
Yeah.
Let's like get through the original. Come on.
Okay. I have a cast on my leg. If I can speak from here.
Can someone just hand her that mic, please?
Yeah. Did you get the cast from pickleball?
Actually, no. I should have a poor representative if I show up like this.
Sorry. See how close we are with that?
I'm pretty loud.
Well, it's recorded, so it has to go into the mic, that's why.
I'm going to say teacher.
I just said that's a great family right there.
Thank you. My name is Lynn Long. I live at 125 2nd Street and 209 North Beach. I agree with everything that's been said by the pickleball people. I've watched it. I know Lynn and Dave quite well. I would like to go on record thanking Dave. Dave goes down there every day. He keeps everyone calm, happy. He organizes it. If they're short a player, he may pitch in. If somebody's struggling, he'll give instruction. He has just given his heart and soul to pickleball in Beach Haven. And I want it on record what he's done for this community. Thank you.
Just make it short.
1 minute. Dave Mike from North Atlantic. Just a quick comment. We don't obviously have 4,000 people here in one day. The most we've had is 90 in one day. I will gladly work with whoever wants to work with me from the neighborhood to try to resolve parking problems. We have a couple solutions we'd like to throw out to the town later on about changing some of the parking patterns down there that might help everybody. But I'll gladly work with the neighbors. Whoever wants to tell me what problems we're causing down it, we'll gladly resolve it. We'll sit down with whoever wants to sit down. We'll try to work everything out. I really think we can coexist And we do not want to take all that park space away from the kids. I love watching the kids play out there. A lot of times I stop and have a baseball
Dave,
catch.
address the
Oh,
council.
a lot of times I stop and have a catch with them while they're playing. I love seeing the kids there. We don't want to take all that much space up there if we got what we wanted. But I would gladly work with the community and the town to try to work out whatever issues we have and try to come to a resolution where everybody's happy. So, thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come up and speak? You can speak about anything, actually. But we have you next. You're next.
Hi, Katie Snyder, 120 Berkeley. I just want to say, gosh, good for you, because I was, via the master plan, asked to kind of start a new beautification of Veterans Park, and was told that we have $0, so good for all of you. That's a park.
Okay, hi. Ann Smith, 204 2nd Street, and I think pickleball's great. I think tennis is great. Yes, parking is a concern down there. The playground is a very big concern of mine. And I wish that everybody in this room was as passionate about something to do for teenagers in this town. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come up and speak? Okay? Yes?
My comments are non-racket related.
That's fine. Don't have to be racket
I'm in Ryan, I live at 204 2nd Street. I have noticed in the bike lanes, I ride my bike everywhere, we have a graphic with a bike rider and an arrow pointing in a direction, and it's kind of people sort of ride wherever they want, and I find it pretty dangerous. I was thinking, what if we painted a graphic of a walker with an arrow pointing the way that they're supposed to walk, and then we asked that it be enforced. I looked at the books and they said the first time is a warning and the second time is a $100 fine. There's some money. So that was my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Kathleen Clancy, and I'm from San Francisco. I grew up, my roots were here, grew up in Ship Bottom and Beach Haven, and I get to come back now because I'm retired. And I see all the growth, a massive amount of growth right here, and it concerns me because I love this island. And my biggest concern is all the cars, and every car that stops, a puddle forms under it. It's usually antifreeze or whatever other fluids, and then when it rains, all that goes right into your bay. And I'm concerned about the environment. It's fragile. This is a spit of sand, basically. And with rising water, I mean, it's not even, when it's high tide, you can't get out of your car. On 5th, I think, 5th and Bay, because there's so much water. These are things that worry me, and I always love this island. I will love it for the rest of my life. And I think everybody needs to cherish it, because you put too many things up, you overtax the sewage, you overtax it. I live in the Bay Area, I'm watching it happen. But we're starting to stop it. I mean, you've got to take care of the birds. You've got to take care of the water. If you don't, people aren't going to come here because the water's dirty. So I just make a plea with everyone here and everyone out here. It's fragile. Take care of the environment. Be aware of that. It's not all about money. It's, you know, if we don't have air to breathe, don't have water to swim in, it's not going to be a Long Beach Island. Thank you.
Thank you.
Janet Drew, 30th Street in Beach Haven, just echoing Ann Smith. Is that it? Yes, it's great that you have the ordinance for straws and styrofoam, but they've, you know, the experts say that all the little things we do don't amount to anything if we don't address some of the big issues. And one of the big issues is a big hotel. And there's a lot of people here worried about pickleball and parking, and I just say again, the island's saturated here. There's got to be a way to do something that doesn't require that much additional abuse of the island.
Thank you. Anybody else like to come up and speak? If not, I am closing the floor to public comment. So now we have final remarks by council. We'll start with Mr. Lynch.
Thank you. Just have a couple quick things to say. First of all, thank everybody for all their pickleball emails that came to me. I'm truly excited by reading every one of them. One thing I would like everybody to notice is this police report, and I keep saying it every quarter, it's a tremendous report. It shows you what the police are doing in town and how well they're conducting themselves and what they're doing as a service to our town. And I think they really need a debt of gratitude from us. That this is a great, great department and how it helps everybody involved. One thing we're going to miss is Christie's leaving us. And I think today's her last day. And I just want to thank everybody for this. Job well done. Also, if you really get a chance, the community gardens that we spoke about earlier, please get out and see it. I had an opportunity to take a ride down there. It's truly beautiful, and it's really a nice thing, and it's really a tribute to Beach Haven, to what we're doing, and being able to beautify the town. And that's all. I thank you very much.
Mr. Allen?
I'd like to start by saying thanks, Christie, for being in Beach Haven for as long as you did. Wish you the best of luck up in Ship Bottom. And look forward to seeing you succeed up there. And I'd like to say this past weekend we couldn't have asked for better weather after that storm blew through, and I hope everybody got out and enjoyed it. And also the Eagles won yesterday. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
I also like to wish Christy good luck and thank you for helping me get my feet wet as a councilwoman. I appreciate all that you've done for me and good luck at Ship Bottom. I also appreciate everyone coming again. This has been another exciting meeting where we can listen to your comments and move forward. I appreciate the passion and dedication of not only the pickleball players but also the tennis players as well. And we are a community and we will work together to make everybody as happy as we possibly can be. And I also appreciate people once again talking about the environment as well. I'm also an environmental steward, and that's always on my mind, my number one concern when it comes to overdevelopment and building sustainable. And I'm also concerned about, doing things for the teenagers as well, maybe incorporating some of these teenagers into tennis and pickleball as we start expanding our recreational programs hopefully next summer.
That's very good, some very good points, and we already have been told that we are going to have some lessons for children in pickleball and maybe tennis, which would be wonderful. I also want to invite people to think about having a community garden next year. We're going to double our gardens down on Nelson Avenue, so there's opportunity for more people to get to know other people and to garden and help beautify the town. So that's exciting. I have to say that I spent the majority of my day on environmental things. I was down at the Mordecai Reclaim the Bay program looking at the living shoreline that's being created there with some members of the St. Barnegat Bay and the DEP, and we're making some pretty good progress down there. And then I had a long meeting with the Stan Hale this afternoon. So we are concerned about environmental issues, and there's a lot that we are doing. So anyway, it's been an interesting summer, and I think we're all looking forward to a little more, less traffic and a little relaxation. And we're really going to miss Christy, but we're so happy that she learned so much from us that she's going to be the best clerk in the world down in Ship Bottom. So thank you very much. And do I have a motion to go into executive?
Resolution 213, 2019, authorizing an executive session to discuss ongoing litigation. I anticipate being in closed session approximately half an hour, and no formal action will be taken.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. Yes.
Yes.
Motion to recess?